Hello, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Francisco Rubalcava Jr. How's it going there, sir?
Good. How's it going for you?
Not bad. It's a Tuesday. Can't be complaining. I'm still alive.
No, it's
Need to lose weight, but that's beside the point.
that's been me for like 2 years, man.
It's been me my whole life, ever since I moved up here in the Modesto area.
No, but yeah, what's new? Nothing new right now.
Well, we had the CPI come out today. Consumer Price Index came out a tenth higher month over month and 0.2 higher year over year, but low, still going down. But the economists they put these expectations out there, and if it doesn't happen, everything falls apart. And today we're 35 basis points up on the bonds, and I'm sorry, on the MBS, the mortgage-backed securities, and we lost that. And then on the bonds, I think they're up 10 the last time I checked today. So what does that mean? That means it's not a straight down; it's a stairway down.
Yeah,
What I mean, it doesn't go straight down in air like this. You have steps to get down. Yeah, we're still going down. They just set these expectations. Yeah, we're down 34 basis points right now, and the 10-year is up to 4.27. That means we're probably over 7% on interest rates.
Yeah. Well, that's I think what everyone was expecting, right? Was for it to exactly like you said, like kind of be like a landslide, but now it's one of those things where it's not going that fast. Ever since they put that halt, right? Like it was just out of nowhere.
Well, the thing that's hurting everything is the retail sales in December were so great. And then there was an article yesterday I saw regarding buy now, pay later. I don't know if you know, people do this. They buy stuff online and they can set it up to pay it later. And that is throwing off the numbers because they're going to, it's more expensive than credit cards. I'm all messed up today. It's more expensive than credit cards, and down the road, it's going to affect their disposable income. And so we're going to see retail sales drop drastic, I think, probably by the beginning of the second quarter. And then third and fourth, they're going to have to drop faster than they thought. And I'm talking the Fed.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing that's just happened right now. It just hurts right now.
Right. Well, I even had a client call me last week, and she was talking about she wanted to try to refi because she was paying like $1,800 in credit cards and car payment. So yeah, I mean, I think
I didn't get that call, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
No, it was man, it was a client though that I had helped a while ago, and it's not gonna work though because what happened is she bought during like COVID, and what it was is she had her sister co-sign, and it's a whole long thing, but
not enough equity.
Well, it's
or they need her income.
Yeah, and her sister's trying to buy a house too. So you know what I mean? It's what is it after you refi, you can't do anything for a whole year?
That's not the case.
How does
you mean? Are you talking when you refinance? If you're doing a cash out, you have to wait a year for cash out.
No, my apologies. I meant for her to use like her first time buyer benefits.
3 years.
3 years after the refi.
Well, 3 years since you haven't owned a home. Yes.
Got it. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say she were to refinance, does that reset it again 3 years, or does it do it just for the year?
It just means however long you're on that house, but that doesn't mean you can't buy FHA. So if you're on a house with somebody else, right, and you show that you're a co-signer only, and there's 12 payments been made, then they can get rid of that debt for you. With that, you can then go buy conventional 5% down or FHA 3.5% down, as long as you're 71 miles or 100. I think it's 100 miles away from the other property.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And even with them, like if she goes ahead and does a refi and everything, then she could still, exclude that payment. Like it's not going to ding her at all. Like
as long as you have 12 months, cancel checks. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, but it's going to be on the new loan.
I see.
I don't know if they'll go, okay, well, I see these were 12 months on the other loan, then they refinance and there's 12 months on this one. It's bad when you help someone as a co-signer and you want to go buy your own home.
Right. No, yeah.
It helps your credit, but it's just bad for you to try to do what you want to do. Now, is there anybody else on the transaction that she's going to buy the other house with, or is it just her?
I believe it was just going to be her. Well, the big thing was I think she was wanting to use like down payment assistance, right? Like
can't be on a house. Got to wait 3 years.
yeah. So well, I think
Dream for all,
right around there.
No, because she's on the loan.
Because there's going to be
Is she currently on the loan with her sister?
Yes. So that's the whole.
So if they refinance now, they're gonna have to wait 3 years.
Right. Well, because what it was too is she was trying to see about doing like one of those like equity pullouts, but it's the same thing. I mean, her sister has to co-sign. She's
right.
So
she'll be stuck on there.
Yeah. So the best thing she could do is refi, but then she loses her 3% interest rate.
Right. It goes to 7 or 6 something.
Yes.
And even if they don't take any money out. Yeah.
Exactly.
So the best thing to do is the sister get 12 months cancel checks. Try to do it FHA. Are they living in the same city or that,
Well, they were out over in Merced. I don't think her sister's in Merced.
If they're 100 miles away, then it's not going to matter. Go FHA on the new one with 3.5% down.
Yeah.
If you can find something in that price point.
Right. Well, I mean, 100 miles from Merced, man.
Well, it depends on where but the Bay Area is 100 miles.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's so it's expensive out there.
I know it's ridiculous out there.
It's crazy.
I just saw our article where we have more Gen Z people coming to California.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well, I think
that's you, right? I think it's 95, 96 through 2005 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So that we had a net influx. We were Texas #1, we're #2 on them coming to California. They all work in tech jobs, military, and have a 4-year degree. One of those 3.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people too. I see it all the time. It's like these crazy rich kids that literally are like 18, 19, like right out of the bat, making crazy money doing like, stocks and stuff, but they leave. They leave the country. They're going to like all these different countries. And
I'd move to Spain on the coast. You can live for 30 grand a year.
Yeah, no, they're always finding these crazy things. It always boggles my head. I like start to question if it's like whatever they're doing, like if it's real, because they make it look so good and then they turn it into a course type of thing.
Of course it is. Of course they do.
So it's like,
of course.
Yeah. Do. No, it's one of those things where and again, I always think of and I get so involved and dedicated with this that it's like sometimes I think like, man, like what if I were to branch out and do something else? But it's so hectic, man. Like some of these people, they do like different stock trades or they do like, certain things. Or
the biggest headache with that, and I got burned because you're supposed to hold it for a year, not to have the 33% or whatever the percent, 30%, whatever you get hit with the tax. So you want to hold it for a year to get a hit 15% tax, but to hold it for a year, you lose out on a trade. And then now you've lost everything. You know what I mean? It's just so expensive doing that type of trading. You have to really know what you're doing, but doing something in a different country, real estate. I know a guy who's doing it in Mexico, in a small town where he's from originally, setting a whole thing up down there. Whatever whatever works. You need to do some additional stuff in our industry anymore because it's going to be a little volatile for the next year or so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think, as especially seeing like more people moving this way, like that's what's crazy, is because they're just, we still don't have enough being built. Like I have, I spoke with this guy yesterday. He called in about like some piece of land in Turlock, and I was talking to him and trying to like figure out, exactly what he wants to do, how he wants to go about everything. He's like, well, I do hopefully want to buy in Hillmar. He lives currently in Stevenson, right? So
he's used to the country.
Yeah, he really likes the country, and I was like, oh, that's great. And I was like, when are you wanting to do that? And he's like, well, I want these prices to go down. And I'm like, man,
it ain't gonna happen.
Exactly. Like it's just it's been difficult. And then I told him, I think, I don't know, I feel like commercial might take a little bit of a hit, but even then that's not gonna be.
I don't think around here though. I mean, that's the only thing we don't have. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more places for rent and lease than I've seen in a while.
So. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's across the board. I don't think that it's hard to say. I mean, and then we talk about like what we're hearing, and then again, people talking about, oh, well, this is gonna happen, like this is gonna be dropping this and that, but it's really difficult to like try to perceive that. I can't see it happening.
What, a dropping?
Yeah,
There's
like
no way it's dropping.
I just can't. And I asked people to tell me, I'm like, okay, like what are you thinking? He's like, well, like he was like, I predicted 2008, and I was like, okay, well,
Yeah,
do you understand the
anybody
differences?
could have done that.
That's what I
A
told him.
monkey could have done that.
It's just
Let me show you a chart. And keep talking. I'm going to throw a chart on the screen, and then I'm going to move us to where we're down here. So number of consumers with new foreclosures or bankruptcies. Look down here where we are, 23, the first quarter all the way to fourth quarter. Look how low that is. The pink one is bankruptcies, and the other one's foreclosures. Yes, we're more than we were in 2020 and 2021 because they put a halt. They couldn't do anything, remember?
Yeah.
So they all came in here and finished them up in the 22 into 23. But if you look historically, look at where we're hiding, which is 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at all those bankruptcies and foreclosures. That's what's going to happen in order for us to do what that guy wants or the other people want, where the values go down. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great chart, because that's the biggest thing, is that I mean, even if a house, even if people are like, oh, I'm waiting for a foreclosure, I'm waiting for an investment deal like that, it sells the same. Like it, you know what I mean?
It's not cheaper.
Exactly, and that's
let me add this to stage 2. I got another one. So this is the mortgage originations by credit score. So if you go back here where we're covering, which is 2000 and here, I want to move us to where we're off the screen. So 2003, 2004, 2005. Look at most of the people had 3/4 of the people had the lower FICO scores, right? Yeah. You see that in there all the way. And then you hit 09 and then people started getting better credit. And then 2015, 2017, people really started working on their credit. And then like, hey, in 2019, I got all this extra money because this pandemic's coming. And look at all the mortgage originations by credit score. That's not going to cause an issue. See, if you go back here to 2003, 4, look at the red. Those are some really low. That's under 620. Look where we are now. Look how low that red is. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think, and this is, I mean, these are great numbers because it's us, like I think a lot of the times people look at so much of like theoreticals and things like that, but this is hard data that is, it's collecting, what we're doing. And that's a big thing too. I mean, a lot of the times, obviously credit for a lot of people, it's like their report card, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's showing how well they are at managing. And you said this a lot of times too, where like a lot of the people that, the people that are the most, how can I say, the ones that are most cautious and the ones that think they're not going to get qualified are the most qualified ones.
Correct.
And
the other ones are, why can't I get it? It's like, because you haven't made a payment over time, or you went through an issue, because we all have went through issues and we all can go through issues again. And I tell people, don't stress over the fact that if you lost your job, something happened, our industry fell apart, and now your credit got hit because you couldn't make your payments because you didn't expect this to happen. You know what? With time, everything heals. It'll happen. You'll get better. So you just have to figure out what's best for you moving forward. Well, and if you want to buy, there's not going to be a drop in prices at all. Yeah. Because we don't have the inventory we had coming to the market. We don't.
Yeah. No, that's what I told the
gentleman.
Yeah, when I was talking to, I was like,
we all want these prices to go down if we're trying to buy, but we want them to keep going up if we own. There's a difference. Yeah.
But I think it falls on us too to educate them as well, and that's what I told him. I said, look, I'm not trying to push you into doing anything. I told him I feel like I would be disservicing you if I didn't let you know this and at least give you my insight. I was like, you do with it what you want, but this is how I feel. And I feel strongly that, this is how things are going to roll. I don't see it,
Yeah. And I agree. And I had somebody call me yesterday wanting a hard money loan. I'm like, why do you need a hard money? Well, my FICO score is in the 620, 640s. I'm like, and he wanted to take cash out to pay off his credit cards. I'm like, just do an FHA loan. And then once you pay off all your stuff in 6 months or whatever, when rates drop more, we'll do a conventional loan and get you right out of it. But use the FHA because they could take the lower FICO score and you you can go up to 80%. Yes, you're going to have some little mortgage insurance on there, but it's a lot less than your 20 to 29% credit card payments.
Yeah.
And he had to think about that. And he goes, I'll keep your information, call you back. That means he's not going to do anything. But it's important. You can't worry about where your rate is on your house. If you're paying 20 to 29% on your credit cards and never going to pay them off, and you have more than $40,000 in debt. And everybody calls me saying, I just need 40,000. By the time I get done, it's really 80,000 because they don't count it right. Nobody ever does. And I'm not knocking you. That's just what everybody does. Nobody wants to know about reality. And the reality right now is house value is not going down. Rates going to kind of stay here for a little bit longer, and eventually it'll drop, and everybody's going to fight you for that house. So you might as well go get it now. Anything you want to add to that?
That was like a cherry on top right there.
All right. Make it a great day. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate you. Francisco, thanks for being here. And we'll talk to you on Thursday.